Hi there everybody, it's UK Independent Stampin' Up demonstrator Halsey here from slimandstylish.stampinup.net. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today's theme is New Beginnings, and I've decided to do a child card, Sweet Little One, using the Elephant Parade Cling stamp set. This is for the Stamp Around the UK video hop, so please do go to my description bar below and hop along to see what all of my friends have also created with this theme. So to start off with, I've stamped my elephant and I've also stamped 4 butterflies. I'm stamping the flowers as well. I just want to get a whole host of goodies here that I can cut out and add around my card. There's my mouse and also a couple of balloons. So not that I'm plagiarising Disney at all, but I've decided to call my elephant Dumbo and my mouse Timothy. Thank you, Mr. Disney. And I'm just going to colour in my balloons. So I'm using Sweet Sorbet light and dark, and you can see that I'm going out to where the mark is on the balloon and along the side with a dark, and then I'm coming in with a light one. I'm going around the other edge just to make sure that when I start going a bit crazy, I'm not going outside the lines. And then I'm going to be using the brush tip just to really get that colour on, spread it all around, mix it in and make sure it's all blended with definite darkness on the left-hand side rather than the right. Colouring all 3 of those in the same. Really just wanted a bright popping colour for that one. Next up, I've got the skin tone blends. So this is the 800 and the 900, and I'm using that to colour in the outside of Timothy Mouse and the inside of his tummy. And then I'm going to be going over the top of him with light grey granite. And I'm only going around the outside part of him with a light grey granite just to make him a little bit greyer. I wasn't quite happy about having a pink mouse. Next up, I've got light and dark grey granite, which I'm going to be using for Dumbo. So I'm going around the dark on the left-hand side, and then I'm going to be using the light just to pull in that colour. So I'm starting around his ears, exactly the same as I did for the balloons. I'm going around the left-hand side to make sure the whole of the shape of him is coloured in before I actually switch my tips, go a bit madder, and make sure all of the colour is blended in well. I always find it easier if I've done the outside bit first, because then I don't have to go all the way to the lines when I'm blending, so I don't have to worry about going outside of the image. Okay, so I'm going to colour the whole of his body in there, just leaving his cute little ears and his fingernails or toenails. I'm going to come in with the SU900 that I used earlier, and I'm just going to use those for that colouring. Next up, I'm going to be using my Dark Daffodil Delight, and I'm just going to do all of the little flowers in Dark Daffodil Delight, and the dots in between all of the butterflies are also going to be that colour. I'm not doing any blending with that, I've just decided to use all of the dark. For the centre of my butterflies, I'm using the light grey granite, and then I'm going to do 2 of the butterflies in light flirty flamingo. And then I'm going to do the other 2 in light mint macaron. Okay, so we're just going to have them in slightly different colours. Now they're all coloured in, I'm going to take them away. I'm going to fussy cut them all out. And there we are. We've got Dumbo, we've got our balloons, we've got Timothy Mouse, who's going to be holding one of the balloons, and we've got the flowers. And then there's our cute little butterflies. And then it's just going to be creating the rest of the card. So I'm using our basic white, and I've got a hexagon from our basic shape set, and I've also got that lovely sort of double hexagon. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to stamp these lovely leaves that come in the set. I'm going to colour them in, but instead of actually cutting them out like I cut the others, I'm going to cut them out with the dies. So I'm using light and dark soft sea foam here, dark down the middle and then light around the edges. I'm going to blend the colour in together so that it just really does pop, but I'm using one of the subtle colours, so even though it pops, it's going to be part of the background. Colouring all those in, And I'm going to use that die, and I'm actually going to die cut these out like this, so that I can create myself a cool background with them rather than just having the whole leaves. I thought this was kind of different, a bit kooky, a bit different, and I liked it. So I'm going to be using the Soft Seafoam ink and my blending brush to just get some colour on the back of my basic white. This is 10.5 centimetres by 14.8, and I'm applying the colour. Now I'm starting in the middle and working my way out because I know the middle is going to be hidden. So I don't mind that becoming a mess, but if you're not sure where you're going to be putting your bits and you don't want to get that great big gunky ink bit, start off the paper and work it in. So here is my hexagonal pieces. I'm going to start down here. I'm just going to build them up a bit like a jigsaw puzzle, but I'm not putting the ones that match next to each other. Okay, so hopefully you'll see as I'm building this up, I'm definitely putting the hexagons piece to piece so they sit correctly, but I'm not putting the leaves so they sit correctly. I'm actually doing it mismatch. I didn't know whether this would mess with my OCD-ness, but actually I preferred it because it just created a kooky pattern, and I thought that was quite fun. Okay, so a couple more to stick down. And then you've sort of got your pattern for your background done. And I'm going to put my hexagonal piece down towards the bottom, down there. I did try with it in a few places, whether I wanted it in the middle or the side, but I did decide in the end that I wanted it middle bottom. And so I'm going to put some twine behind it. This is the gold twine from the catalogue. I love this. It's thick and it bends whichever way you want it to. So I'm going to wrap it around my fingers 3 times to create my loops. Add some adhesive onto the card and stick my loops down. And now you can bend the loops out to where you want them to sit. Don't worry if they don't fall there naturally. You can always use your adhesive to have them stick in place, but I've actually managed to get them exactly how I want them. So now I'm just going to ink up my sentiment, sweet little one, stamp it down, add it to my hexagon, and then pop some dimensionals. Well, actually I'm going to use some foam strips on the back of here so that it's popped up and it sits on my card quite nicely. So I'm just going to stick that down. Add it onto the card. And then I'm going to be adding all of my cut out pieces to create a nice little scene. So here's Dumbo, and I'm going to stick him towards the bottom. I'm going to pop Timothy Mouse next to him. I think Dumbo should be with Timothy. And then I'm going to add some balloons. Now I'm going to mix these around. I'm definitely going to have one in his hand. I like the idea of him holding one. But I'm going to put the others so they go behind where the sentiment is. One is going to sit behind the sentiment above the twine, and the other one's going to sit behind the sentiment and behind the twine. So they look like they've got sort of some 3D element, that they're all at different heights and different levels. Okay, and then you can see the twines over the top of it. Then I'm going to stick down some flowers. So I'm going to stick a couple behind Dumbo, and then I'm going to go over to the other side and stick the other couple down behind the sentiment strip. And then finally, I'm going to stick my butterflies down. They're obviously going to be towards the top because they're going to be flying overhead, and they're going to be flying around where these sort of leaf elements are. I quite liked this card after it was finished. I thought it was quite cute, and I definitely thought the main part of it was those hexagonal flowers at the back. I think they made it, and it just made me so happy that I decided to do that rather than fussy cut them out. Okay. Once you've finished, you're going to add some embellishments and stick it onto your card base. So my card base is an A5 piece of card cut in half and scored in half to create an A6 piece. And I'm going to add the panel onto it, and then I'm going to pop the embellishments on. So I'm going to be using rhinestones. Love these. Popping those on in a few different places just to create some texture. And that is my card done. I love it. I think it really fits the theme of new beginnings for the new year. Let me know what you think of this project in the comments below. If you are new to my channel, please do subscribe, like, and come back for my regular videos. Do hop along to see what everyone else has created with this theme, and hopefully I will see you all again soon. Everything I've used today is available from my store, slimandstylish.stampinger.net. Have a lovely day, everybody. Bye.